Hey, welcome to the Sunday preview for this third Sunday in Ordinary Time. And we have this reading from the Gospel of Matthew where Jesus begins his public ministry. Chapter 4. It says, when Jesus heard that John had been arrested, he withdrew to Galilee. He left Nazareth and went to live in Capernaum by the sea, in the region of Zebulun and Naphtali, that what had been said through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. Land of Zebulun, land of Naphtali, the way to the sea beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sit in darkness have seen a great light, and on those dwelling in a land overshadowed by death, a light has arisen. From that time on, Jesus began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. As he was walking by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who's called Peter, and his brother Andrew, casting a net into the sea, and they were fishermen. He said to them, come after me, and I will make you fishers of men. At once they left their nets and followed him. He walked along from there and saw two other brothers, James, the son of Zebedee, and his brother John. They were in a boat, and with their father Zebedee mending their nets. He called them, and immediately they left their boat and their father and followed him. He went around all of Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom, and curing every disease and illness among the people. The gospel of the Lord. Well, the gospel really gives us some historical background where how Jesus wound up there in Capernaum, and he's ready to start his mission now. It seems like it was in the plan of God the Father that Jesus would wait until John the Baptist had been arrested and was in prison, and he'd eventually be beheaded. And that was the signal to Jesus to begin his preaching. And so he goes and he begins up in Galilee, in the town of Capernaum, which is the town where Peter lived. And he goes around to all the neighboring towns, and his message is very simple. Repent. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. And that's really the core of Jesus' preaching and message, right? That something new is happening. Something new has come on into the world. John prepared the way, and Jesus is that light that's come into the world. When we boil the gospel down, that's really the message for us all. That we're to turn away from sin and turn back to God, because the kingdom comes in Jesus Christ. It's interesting, the gospel goes right on, and St. Mark gives us all the background as to how Jesus starts to gather the 12 apostles. And he goes around and he starts calling them individually by name to become fishers of men. And it's a reminder to us that Jesus is not just a loner out there by himself, but he's always trying to gather a community around him. A community like us, the followers of Jesus. And that he distributes that work out to us as well. That he wants to entrust us with the task of being the light of the world as well. You know, Jesus will have his mission and he'll fulfill that. He'll preach and heal and then suffer and die and rise again. But it's for us to keep that going. And that's the meaning of the call of the apostles, right? He's going to train them and invest in them, and he's going to teach them, and he's going to give them power. And they're going to go out and continue the mission. And they pass that on to us. And now it's our turn to carry that light into the world, to proclaim the kingdom is at hand, and to all people to repent, to turn back to God. And that's the mission of the church today, and that's the mission of each one of us. We can't forget that, and nobody's excused from it. Every single baptized person is called to be an apostle in his own way. All of us is called to invite back the lost and the people who walk in darkness to see the light of Christ.